Jim, our next question, sent via the Cult of Cornette Facebook group, was sent by Rob Blackbear. November is Native American Heritage Month, so I was wondering, who is the most popular Native American wrestler in history? And were they actually Native American? Love the show.
Wahoo would be up on that list, and he was. In the 50s, Don Eagle was one of the biggest baby faces in the business and was a money-drawing name, 40s into the 50s. I'm not sure. Was he, Brian? If you even know, Chief Bigheart was another in the Northeast that was from Ohio through the Vince Sr. territory. Chief Bigheart was a huge baby face. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say Don Eagle was a big star and a big draw. Boston, Chicago, had a national reputation, had merch early on, was on magazine covers, had a gimmick and a look when a lot of people didn't. Not to say that him being Native American was a gimmick, but he certainly amplified it.
Yes.
Before the crowd, he had his dad as his manager. So he was a pretty big star. In modern times, I mean, you said Wahoo. Chief Jay Strongbow's not really Native American, so you can't really count him.
Right, he was Italian. Now, in Indianapolis, in Bruiser's territory, Billy Red Cloud got over to the point where they put the belt on him at one time, and he had the full Indian regalia and etc. And he was tremendously over as a babyface. But then, I don't know about Billy Red Cloud, but when they teamed him up with Chief Bobby Bold Eagle, who had the entire 6-foot Indian headdress on that he would wear to the ring, and it went all the way down to his feet. He was Italian, Bob Boyer. But he was also the junior member of that combination, and Red Cloud was a bigger draw. Again, I'm trying to think of...
But here's another interesting way to look at it. Wahoo, Don Eagle, even Jay Strongbow, Tatanka, they all ended up really getting into the gimmick. They had the full headdress, they had the feathers, they had a lot of different things, sometimes face paint.
Right.
Other than the Briscoes, were there Native American wrestlers that didn't really exploit it like that?
Yeah, because the Briscoes are part Native American, at least. I'm not sure what heritage, etc., but they both are, but they never really, because it was a whole different thing with them. Jack came in as the NCAA heavyweight champion, and Jerry was a high-level amateur, so they didn't really need a gimmick. For them would have been a hat on a hat. That's why they never had one. But I'm trying to think of, like you said, anybody who didn't exploit it, but particularly the most popular, the most over, the biggest box office attractions for Native Americans were the guys that we mentioned. And it was, probably about maybe half and half as to whether they were or not legitimately Native American in some way.
It's crazy with Chief Jay Strongbow. He got that gimmick. It was almost as if he was at the end of his career. He was already 40 years old.
Yeah.
And he got that gimmick, and it gave him the biggest run of his career.
And nobody was scrambling to book him at that point, but because Vince Sr. wanted an Indian, he got, 15 more years almost in the ring, and then an agent's job forever out of it.
So in terms of the biggest ever on the national stage, again, Tatanka was big on the national stage, but I think Wahoo was significantly more popular. Chief Jay Strongbow was a Northeast thing, that's it.
Yeah, but Don Eagle was bigger than all of them, but it was a time of network television and where it was a different business.
I think Don Eagle was also the only one double-crossed out of all of them, but that is that question.
And boy, pitched an odd-looking fit about it, too. It was like he was working that he was mad about getting legitimately double-crossed.
Like Wendy Richter when Moolah double-crossed her.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Whatever the hell happened there.
Nobody ever just draws back and punches the other guy in the fucking face.